I got into a car accident. It's true. And it was not fun. It happened a couple weeks ago and I'm still dealing with it. But I was thinking, this could be a great English learning opportunity. So, I'm going to tell you the story of my car accident, and along the way, you're going to learn some useful English words and phrases to talk about car accidents. So, let's get started. One evening, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I drove to the supermarket to get some groceries. We got eggs, Oreos, I don't know, stuff. And then we headed home. Now it was dark. We were driving along and then suddenly, out of nowhere, a deer ran out onto the road from the right side of the road. Now, you maybe have heard a deer in the headlights. This is when someone is like a deer, staring into headlights, kind of dazed and confused, not knowing what to do. Wasn't like that at all. This was out of nowhere, which means just suddenly there. Not there and then there. As though the deer were trying to run into the car. And I had a moment, just a split-second moment, where time seemed to freeze. And I said to myself, I'm going to hit this deer. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't stop. I couldn't speed up. I couldn't swerve. So we hit the deer. And it was a pretty big impact. I mean, they call that, I think, a minor collision if there's not too much damage. We'll get to that. But it felt like a pretty big impact. And later when we got home, we found all of the groceries in the back seat had flown forward. So it must have been a pretty big impact. But the deer hit the car and then it was gone. I didn't know where it went. Immediately, I hit the brakes and pulled over to the side of the road. Just to calm down, right? My wife was beside me. We just were kind of dazed. And then I started to think about what I should do, right? So, okay, we hit a deer. This is generally a minor collision. I mean, it's not a serious car accident. I'm not injured. She's not injured. We're okay. How's the car? I don't know. The first thing I did was I got out. I went around to the front of the car, to the front right side of the car, to check to see what kind of damage there was. There was a pretty significant amount of damage. The right fender was dented pretty severely. The hood of the car, the front of the car, was dented. And the right headlight was kind of smashed. And some other things were broken. And there were a lot of pieces of plastic and glass on the ground. So, some serious damage. I looked around. I didn't see the deer anywhere. I didn't hear anything. So then I went back into the car and thought, now what do I do? Okay. So we have some damage. And I know that I'm going to need to get this damage fixed. We're okay, but we still need to fix the car. So should I just try to drive away? No. The thing you should do is call 911, because then the police come and they do something called a police report, right? So you call 911 to document the accident, right? You had a car accident. Sometimes this is called a crash or a collision. Crash, collision, accident, okay? So, called 911 and 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later maybe, the police showed up. 2 police cars, actually. They pulled up behind us with their lights on. And they asked for my insurance and my registration. The registration is the thing that says this is your car. The insurance says, hey, I have insurance, which of course you need to have in case something like this happens, of course, right? So they walked around the car and looked at the damage and took down my information, asked me a couple of simple questions like, where did you hit the deer? How far back was the deer? That sort of thing. But they said that it happens in this season pretty often, actually. They said it's a pretty normal thing. What I didn't know was that they need to actually go look for the deer. It's part of their job. Apparently, if a deer is wounded, it can be dangerous. And of course, if a deer is wounded and it's just laying there, that's not good, right? But I didn't know this at the time. We were sitting in the car waiting for the police to file the police report. And then we heard bang. And I realized, oh, they must have found the deer and shot it. This is called putting it down. This is usually done in a humane way. Sometimes people put their pets down when their pets get very old and they aren't doing very well. They take their pets to the vet and get them put down. Well, the deer had been pretty badly injured, so it had to be put down. So that's what that bang was. Usually that's to suggest that it is humane. Okay. So I got the police report and I asked them, is it okay if I drive home? They said, yes, it should be okay to drive home. The damage is cosmetic. Cosmetic means there's nothing wrong with the engine, there's nothing wrong with the wheels or anything like that. It's more just the body of the car. So actually you can drive. It was, as I said, the hood, the fender, and the headlight, which had been damaged, seriously damaged. Okay, so when we got home, I inspected the damage more carefully and took some pictures in case I needed to send those to the insurance. Inspect is when you look at something very closely. There was better light because it happened at night and I couldn't see very well on the side of the road. So when I got home, I turned on the lights in the garage and looked at it very carefully. And I saw that it wasn't just plastic that was broken, but there was a big dent on the fender and the hood of the car was also pretty badly dented. So I took some pictures. Why do you need to take pictures? Well, in a case like this, you need to document as much as possible because eventually you're going to need to file a claim. You don't have to do it at that moment. You can do it the next day or maybe the day after, but pretty soon after, you need to file a claim with your car insurance. That's what it's called. To file a claim, basically saying, a thing happened. Now I need to use my insurance. I will need my insurance to help me pay for the damage. I'll explain how that works in a minute. Okay, so this type of accident is called either an act of God or a no-fault accident. An act of God is when you have no control over it, right? A deer runs out onto the road at night. You didn't see it coming. It came out of nowhere. There's nothing you could have done to avoid it. So it's not your fault, right? It's just a thing that happened. This is sometimes called an act of God. Sometimes it's called a no-fault accident, meaning it's not your fault. This is for other types of car accidents too, though, where maybe your car is parked and another car sideswipes you. Well, that would be a no-fault accident too. So that's good in a way because for some accidents, if it's your fault, it will make your insurance premium go up. Your insurance premium is the amount that you need to pay for your insurance on an ongoing basis. You pay your insurance premium. And if you get into an accident and it's your fault, then your premium will probably go up a little bit. If it's not your fault and there's nothing you could have done, then your premium will stay the same. The other important thing to know about the insurance is that you generally have a deductible. So this is an amount of money that you need to pay out of your pocket, before your insurance will work before it, we say, kicks in. And so there are different levels of deductibles, but basically, I need to get my car fixed. I take it to a body shop, right? A car repair shop. In this case, the body of the car is damaged, so it's called a body shop, or sometimes a collision center or something like that. But often it's just called a body shop or a car body shop. Maybe the total cost of the repairs is, let's just say, $5,000. And your insurance is going to pay for most of that. You have to pay the first part for a specific amount. That is your deductible. So let's say, for example, that your deductible is $500. Well then, if the repairs only cost $500, then you have to pay all of the $500. But if the repairs cost $5,000, then you just pay that first $500 because that's your deductible and your insurance covers the rest. That's generally how it works. So this is the process that I'm currently going through, and that's why it's not fun. Everybody's okay. I'm okay. My wife is okay. As I said, when I got home, I realized how hard we must have hit that deer because the groceries in the back seat had flown forward out of the bags and they were everywhere. When it happens in the moment, you have a sense of shock, right? Adrenaline. And so you don't really realize how bad something is. But then you see something like that, groceries all over the back seat, and you think, wow, that could have been pretty serious. Luckily, we're not hurt. Luckily, it's just the car. So that is my car accident story. Not fun, definitely, but when I got home, I felt a sense of not anger or anything like that, gratitude. Thankful that I'm okay, that my wife is okay, that everybody's okay. I should be thankful that I'm okay every day. Things can happen. It's a reminder that stuff can happen. Stuff can go wrong. Things you don't plan can happen. When life is just going along, things are going to plan, you sometimes forget. Then something happens and you realize, life is fragile. Things can go wrong. It's good to have a reminder of that, to remain thankful for the things that don't go wrong, for things that are going well. So thankfully, everybody's okay. It's just a car. We're getting it fixed. No big deal. If you have any questions about this situation or any of the words and phrases that we talked about, let me know in the comments. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I will see you in the next one.